Hey guys, it's Alex again. Yeah, I've been popping out videos pretty fast lately, but I think I'll take a break after this one. Well, I already said in probably 2 videos ago that what could have made the Sega Saturn better. Well, let's go on to Nintendo. This is probably one of Nintendo's best consoles of all time, but it did not sell as well as Nintendo intended it to. Well, there's a few reasons. Well, let's go over the reasons how the Nintendo 64 could have sold better, because this console is just fucking amazing. Anyway, the N64, obviously you know what it is. Now, during this time, using discs or CDs were a new thing at that time. You know, the PlayStation 1, the Sega Saturn, and a bunch of other consoles that were using disc-based systems. I think those were the two main ones. But the N64 only went with cartridges still. That turned off a lot of developers for the N64. So, like with the comparisons, you know how games get ported between back and forth, it's kind of hard to go from a cartridge to a disc in some ways back then. It's easy today in some ways if you know how to hack and homebrew your games and stuff. So it kind of lost a good chunk of third-party support. Like Square Enix or Squaresoft, they didn't really develop any games for it, I don't think. But some third-party developers did stay with them. The one company that really made this console successful was Rare. They put so many great games on there. Donkey Kong 64, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, GoldenEye 007, Perfect Dark, just a bunch of really good games. You may say that, well, that fucking sucks, it didn't sell that well and it was probably a little bit underrated. Well, no, it was really good, and you know how most consoles are disc-based, making them hard to collect for, especially the Model 1 PS1. Well, this is obviously cartridge-based, so cartridges are not as easy to break, so it's much easier to collect for. Not many parts to break. Not like fans breaking down, you overheating, disc readers failing, breaking. Yeah. This is just a simple on and off button, reset button, and cartridge input. So it probably wouldn't overheat unless you kept on for like days on end. So the N64 didn't do as well. I mean, it did great, but it wasn't doing as well as Nintendo had thought it would. So then in Japan came the Nintendo 64 DD, I think it is. Maybe it's reversed, or ND64, I forget. It means disk drive, I think. Now, in Japan, there is an attachment for this. Take this off, and you see there's another cartridge slot there. Now, originally Nintendo wanted to put this attachment on the N64 in the US market. It was such a failure in Japan that they just kind of let go of the idea altogether. So it was just another flop attachment. Kind of like what Sega did with their consoles, or with the Sega Genesis. It just didn't really work out well. So they wanted to put that on there to see if they can get any more support for it, but it was pretty much near the end of the lifespan of 2003. I think that's when it actually ended, but I'm thinking it's 2001. No, it's 2001. I think it officially stopped making games in 2003, but so what could have made the N64 sell better? The use of disc drives, or not disc drives, using CDs like the Sega Saturn's PS1 did. Had better third-party support. It really did have good, but it wasn't just enough for them to get enough sold. But it was pretty successful anyway. So that's basically it. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with this console. It's a really great console. It's just the third-party support was just not really there. It was there, but not as much as the other two competitors. And, well, Sega lost a lot of third-party support, but whatever. And just, yeah, a failure disc add-on on the bottom didn't really work out either. Nintendo GameCube pretty much took over from there, and it was not successful, but it was really good. I'll be talking about that later. So, this is Alex, and that was the N64. What could have made it sell better, or whatever the tell will be. So I'll see you later.